All right, let's talk about Luke Hasz from Arkansas. Kid plays tight end. You're like, well, I know who Luke Hasz is. Well, some people don't, and here's why: because he got hurt. Right? He was a true freshman last year. He was fantastic. He was fantastic in his first 4 games. He was already getting kind of superstar hype. Brock Bowers comparison. Well, like I believe on like his first or second catch against A&M, breaks his collarbone. It's pretty brutal. It wasn't like a nasty hit. It wasn't like a cheap shit. It just was like unfortunate. It was
It's
very clear
football, you
that
know?
something happened, but he's back, guys. He's back. He's so good. I mean, like, yeah, sure, he doesn't have like the gigantic monster size that some of his other guys has, but it's 6'3", 240 pounds, moving like he does. I think he runs like a high 4.5, 4.6. I mean, like, this is a pretty good athlete that they have over there at Arkansas. Pretty good athlete.
Yeah, and he's a guy that kind of new to football, right? He didn't pick it up until COVID. Actually, COVID was the reason why COVID shut down. All he could do was work out. He started working up, put on some weight, and his twin brother was like, who also plays at Arkansas, was like, "Hey, why don't you come out and play football?" And he was like, "Okay, whatever." And then all of a sudden he's a baller, and he had 700 yards his sophomore year for Bigsby, Oklahoma, which is a powerhouse in the state of Oklahoma. And yeah, it hasn't stopped there. This is a big time recruiting win for Arkansas. I believe he was originally committed or he wanted to go to Oklahoma, in-state Oklahoma. Lincoln Riley left to go to USC. That obviously changed a lot of things for Hasz. Took an OV to Bama, to Michigan, and Arkansas ended up, he ended up staying committed to Arkansas all throughout official visit season. It paid off for him, I think, in year one. Obviously, they got him on the field and they found him. He just kind of got lost. And for a guy who's new to football, he's got such good zone feel in that limited sample size, right? But he just kind of got lost in defenses and like I mean, I'm not going to compare it to Brock Bowers, right? Because that's
Because
just
4 games of
crazy
sample
high.
size. It's four
Exactly. And
games.
and Brock Bowers was a tight end. He was a first round pick, and obviously it is a different specimen, from Georgia. But it's kind of crazy to see like some similarities there. Not no freak. I mean, he's a really good athlete, right? But it's not like he's 6'7", 280 pounds, doesn't have a 45-inch vertical. It's not like all these things, but he's just good zone feel, tough run after catch, a willing blocker. I mean, he's got to put on some weight and some strength and whatnot. He's a true freshman, right? New to football. But I mean, you can tell he wants to block, and obviously that matters for Sam Pittman and that offense there, who's going to want to run the football. With Jaquin Jackson coming, Taylor Green, and it sounds like Hasz or Hot or wow
Has.
has thank you, Luke has. It sounds like he's really optimistic about this offense with Taylor Green and Bobby Petrino. I believe he's quoted to say this year's scheme is going to be even better for tight ends, and that was a guy that had 253 yards in just 4 games, so pretty damn impressive.
Yeah, I feel like Bobby Petrino's used tight ends pretty well, in the past. I mean, Donovan Green got hurt last year for Texas A&M, which was a huge blow. But I mean, a guy like Max Wright, I mean, he was able to kind of get the most out of him in some ways. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But it's not even like you're using Luke Hasz though as like a true tight end. Like you could put him in the slot. Like you
Yeah.
can put him on the outside. Like you could put him in a bunch of different spots. And if we know something about Bobby Petrino, it's that dude's pretty creative. He's also creative with player personnel. So I would imagine that we see some really interesting looks with Luke Hasz uh, this season for Arkansas. So definitely probably the player on Arkansas that I'm most excited about. I know you're super excited about Jaquindon Jackson this year, but I'd say Luke Hasz is probably the guy that I am most excited. Well, and Taylor Green, obviously. Taylor Green stands right over here. But yeah, I gotta. That's my guy. If you're gonna make me pick one, it's Luke Hasz that I'm excited about in this Arkansas roster.
Well, yeah, and that just that room in there. Ty Washington's there. Marquise Gomes, a guy that was just a year ago, was a pretty sought after transfer portal commit from North Texas. The guy was a freshman All American for the Mean Green down there. Yeah, like you said, like what they can do offensively, mixing and matching, playing inside outside. You got versatility there, and obviously that helps getting the best matchup for your playmakers like Luke has.
Yeah, absolutely.
I will say, I mean, you guys looking at their schedule, they play A&M, right? September 28th, and obviously AT&T Stadium. Like that's Obviously, unfortunately, got hurt last year. But that's gonna be a guy that if you're A&M and you're opposing defense coordinators in the SEC, it's like you got to make sure you know where he is at all times.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. And I already know that, even 4 games in, you're watching this film, and I know Texas A&M was uh, prepared to do what they could to uh, stop Luke Hasz, stop number 9.